Welcome back to Halftime Report on CNBC-TV18. As of now, the Nifty is still holding on to 24,500 levels. Keep an eye out on that. But now it's time to put the spotlight on crude and precious metals. Manisha Gupta caught up with commodities big voice Peter Mcguire to determine the direction for crude, oil, gold and silver. Take a look at what he had to say.
And I look at the market and I say, right, it is having a little bit of a bounce to the upside. You can't deny that. 68.20 for Brent and 64.15 sort of number for WTI. Now, it's had a little bit of and you had that US dollar, running at around about 98. I'm fairly confident that you're going to see softer prices rolling into Q4. At the meantime, you've had a bounce up, as you mentioned, The situation with Ukraine and Russia hasn't been put to bed in any fashion or form, and they're now saying that they may not meet. So I understood that from Germany and Mr. Merz. So the situation could actually escalate further, and that's going to probably cause more geopolitical concerns in the fabric of the energy markets, Manisha. So that's the situation at the moment, and traders are enjoying the volatility.
Oh, they sure are. Peter, what's your sense then? You've been maintaining that the crude oil prices will be on a range going forward for the rest of this year as well. Would you continue to reiterate that at a pivot 70s, perhaps, what we're looking at in sense of prices?
Well, look, they might put a little bit further on, Manisha, but I think the overall consensus is, from the people that I'm talking to, the situation with OPEC Plus, you're probably going to see increasing production, as we all know. And the other side, of course, is going to be when that starts to drip feed into the market and really take some heat out of it. I'm sure that you're going to see low 60s and possibly into the 50s running into Q4 sometime. And then you've got, I think that'll maintain over that Northern Hemisphere winter period.
Peter, it's not just crude, but we've also seen gasoline prices, heating oil prices come under some pressure in the recent few days. Overnight, of course, has been a slightly stronger market. But what are the fundamentals you're watching here? Because with the Labor Day long weekend, the summer driving demand season in U.S. comes to an end. How much of a pressure would that put on prices from here?
Well, I think, Manisha, I've listened to quite a few, discussions as far as petrol prices in the States. And a lot of those cities and a lot of drives are now experiencing sub $3 a gallon, which is a good sign. And some are even, much lower than that. And that is going to be a good sign for the economy. The absolute, I think, situation is going to be, again, cheaper prices. The whole storyline is one of, the big moving parts. But I'm pretty sure that you're going to see that situation as it starts to unfold. The demand side is going to probably wane a little bit because, as you mentioned, summer driving season comes to an end, and more production is going to be a wonderful situation for inflation. And I think the overall consensus is softer energy prices leading into Christmas.
Well, that got to be good news for many consumers there. But I also want to talk about silver, Peter, and we're trading at all-time highs in the Indian markets when it comes to silver. Global prices are still around that 14-year highs, but kind of run-up that we've seen in India, and that too especially ahead of festivals. The retail demand clearly has been on the higher side. Where do you see silver from here? Because investment demand, retail demand, industrial demand, all of those boxes seem to be getting ticked.
Oh, they're getting ticked, absolutely. You're running at 39.50, 39.55 at the moment, and it's had a really nice run up. And there it is, as far as Indian prices. As you said, all-time highs. I'm fairly confident that you're going to snap through 40 very, very shortly. And the overall momentum, I think, is going to be a continuation to the upside running into the last 4 months of the year, Manisha. We've got 8 months down nearly come tonight's trading. And then we start again, 1st of September on Monday. So I think the theme is going to be higher prices, US dollar again coming under more pressure to the downside. And it's going to probably take its big brother up for another ride to the upside as well.
You talked about gold, and yes, we're not too far away from all-time highs onto that one as well. 3,400 plus kind of levels holding. Are you looking at 3,500 taking out anytime soon?
Yeah, I think so. It's at 34.70. I'm looking at the screens. I mean, I think it's got the momentum at the moment to really charge ahead. Let's have a look and see what the Fed does. I think it's pretty much baked in. You're going to see a 25 basis point cut. So if that was to materialise, possibly it is already felt in the market, but that I think is going to run, I think, more pressure to the downside for US dollar, and the overall momentum is going to be one of, jumping into precious metals and continuing that, the attraction to traders. And I mean, the market has been extraordinary this year. You can't deny it. I mean, just mind-blowing what you've seen as far as uplift for gold and silver. So, yeah, I don't think the party's going to stop anytime soon, Manisha.
All right. So where are we headed? 36, 3,800? I mean, those are the levels that we've been talking about.
Absolutely. I mean, you're running 4 months till the end of the year. I think it's got the capacity to take those sort of numbers. Let's see where we are with Fed policy. And if they were to cut, are they looking at another cut, which seems to be, again, everyone's saying you'll probably see another cut as far as, November, say. So that's going to force more pressure to the US dollar to the downside and more uplift as far as what will happen with precious metals.
Okay, gold continues to shine. 5-week peak there for the markets just about